Athletic, bold, and commanding. We got the Equinox EV. It's presenting all of this to you today. We got a bonus surprise, hilarious moment from this podcast that I just didn't see coming from an old friend slash foe of the show that got a real good chuckle out of us. We've got a great interview with two, very renowned figures in the game over the last 15 years. They're together, President's Cup captains going into next year. And we've got a lot of, just good chatter amongst the crew. Internet Invitational updates. It's all brought to you by the Equinox EV and Chevrolet.
Chevrolet, baby. Yep. We're actually, we're going to be going up to Boston right now. So we got a bunch of the guys from the crew getting in a car, going up to Boston, obviously in our Chevy. That's what we ride on the road whenever we go from golf course to golf course. So it's going to be good to go up northeast, that fall foliage, get into the Boston area. I can't wait for that drive. It's going to be beautiful, especially we just got a bunch of rain. I think things are going to be popping today and tomorrow. It's going to be real nice. And there really is nothing better than driving through that fall, autumn view in a nice American Chevrolet. Gosh, that just feels like America.
It does. It really does. The Equinox EV, make sure you check this thing out. It's got the massive 17-inch diagonal center screen. It's the largest of any EV in its class. I drove all over that Pacific Northwest because the Equinox EV offers 319 miles of EPA estimated electric range with front wheel drive. When it comes to EVs, Equinox EV is the smartest choice you can make.
We used to call him Skelly Bent-Eye. What's his name? The Riggs guy.
He's not nice.
I mean, this fat, out of shape, terrible golfer, modeling Adidas's new.
Oh, that's
line.
That's Trent. The other cross-eyed guy. And it.
Foreplay presented by Barstool Sports. We got myself, Frankie, and Trent yet again. We got a great interview on this show. The two President's Cup captains for next year, 2026, at Medinah, number 3. We've got Brandt Snedeker from the United States of America, Geoff Ogilvy from the international team, and a very interesting wrinkle. Geoff Ogilvy and his design firm renovated and redesigned Medinah a handful of years ago, and that was well before he became the President's Cup captain. Sitting down with the two of them together very shortly after the Ryder Cup. Brandt Snedeker was, of course, one of the vice captains for the Ryder Cup, so we talk a lot about sort of inside baseball, some inside stories of being a part of that Ryder Cup team, what to expect going into the President's Cup. Geoff Ogilvy's they both got phenomenal careers, but Geoff Ogilvy, U.S. Open winner, so just a lot of good stuff from those two fellas. They were in the Chicago office, so it was a very funny dynamic of them being in the Chicago office, me not being in the Chicago office, hearing about what was going on in the Chicago office. I saw they were on like the Yak. They were doing kind of the whole tour because Medinah and the President's Cup and Chicago and the whole deal.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen to that. I was not there for that one, but I did see them buzzing around the Chicago office. It's always funny to see people in there and I'm sure they talk about it in the interview, but what were their overall opinions of the Chicago office?
Yeah, I said that. I pointed out that, seeing certain athletes in there is, albeit wild because of our small, roots at Barstool Sports. It's still like you're seeing athletes sort of in like a frat housey, a play factory type office is like, okay, it's fitting. Seeing like two esteemed golfers in there is very funny to me and a very funny dynamic. And so I did bring that up. They both kind of loved it. I mean, Brandt Snedeker, Tennessee guy. I think I told this story last year, but never really interacted with Brandt at all. And then saw him at the hotel bar for the RBC Canadian Open last year. And he had played poorly. And, it is an interesting dynamic with these guys when they're like on a work trip. They're at a tour event like that. They're not with any family. He's just kind of there alone, playing poorly, and missed the cut. And he's just kind of sitting at the hotel bar. And then, things got a little wild at the hotel bar. So he jumped over to this bar across the street. We ended up going over there a little later. It was like me, Colt Nost, friend Dan. And we just kind of had some casual beers with Brandt Snedeker. And I really liked the cut of his jib. He was great, man. He was he was conversational. He was laughing. He was sort of a little bit more in on like what we do, what Barstool does, than I would have expected. We were telling stories, going back and forth with Colt, and it was just a fantastic time. And so Brandt Snedeker, American guy, Tennessee, I could kind of see being in that office a little bit. Geoff Ogilvy is, Australian. I've never really talked to him before. By all accounts, being into the course architecture, we got into how he does stuff with Andy and the fried egg, and he's on there quite a bit, breaking down a lot, that has to do with the architectural side of the game. It's just a different breed and a different world than I would say the Barstool Chicago office, but he liked it. He very much said that he liked it.
I remember the old New York City office, the old one that we all worked in, where the elevators opened onto the floor. The first famous athlete that I remember walking into that office where I was like, wow, was Ryan Lochte, if you remember him, who was the Olympic medalist, like very accomplished swimmer. And that was early on, obviously, because then, after a while, those elevators saw pretty much everybody in entertainment come through there. But I remember that vividly, being like, wow, Ryan Lochte's in this office. And that just reminded me, just having celebrities coming in and out. I mean, we're not in that world really anymore because we don't go to an office. So it was always cool when people would come in and you're like, oh, wow, there's so-and-so, there's Ice Cube, there's whoever. And seeing those two in that office reminded me of that world.
Yeah, I remember if I look back at like my Snapchat memories, like this day 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I'll always I was sending random ass athletes or celebrities to my buddies. Like, I mean, at one point, this isn't random, but it is random for like the Barstool office. Like Herschel Walker was walking around the office with like a little plate of food and a drink of water, and he was looking for a place to sit down. It was like Herschel Walker. I was like, what's going on? And I'm just Snapchatting him and like Za walking around the office. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Geoff Ogilvy. There's got to be only a finite amount of Geoffs that spell it Geoff, right? Geoffs.
Yeah, Geoffs. Not a ton of Geoffs.
What other? There's another athlete out there that's Geoff.
There was a NHL player forever, Geoff. Ryan
Richardson. Can we throw up a list of the most famous Geoffs? I think Geoff Ogilvy has to be the number one, though.
Well, there
Jeff
is
Sanderson, Jeff Courtnall. That's another one. Couple
our
NHL
old friend
players.
Geoff Shackelford.
Geoff Shackelford.
Yeah,
I was privy to some information that Geoff Shackelford and someone else apparently just shit on us on their post Ryder Cup recap podcast.
I did not hear that, but it sounds right to me.
Yeah.
I actually saw him in because we were media credentialed for the Ryder Cup, and I was getting lunch or breakfast one of the days, and I saw him, and I think he saw me, but we didn't interact. Which
he shit on us.
Yeah, one of the great cowards in golf media, I would say that, man. If people want any proof of that, I think you can just search wherever you get podcasts on like Geoff Shackelford foreplay, because after the battle against Old Man Golf Media, we had him on the show. And he just tuck-tailed and ran the entire time on everything that we brought up. He started complaining about the PGA Tour's like social media regulations and how we were just like, wait, what? No, you take what? And we just kind of really buried him in that interview. But yeah, I got one of my favorite things about being notified that Geoff and somebody else were shitting on us on their podcast was that I had gotten 0 tweets about it. And usually when something like that occurs back in the day, I feel like we would be notified of it. I get some DMs, I get some tweets, people would have seen it. This was like a very niche person in the golf world who texted me and was like, someone texted me that I guess Geoff and his buddy were blaming us for all the fans. And not just blaming us, but apparently like took some shot. I think they called us like fat and cross-eyed or something. He said
that's insane. We got to get to the bottom of this.
I mean, it's not surprising to me that they would make that that assumption where they're like, well, of course the Barstool guys are the reason why this horrible thing is happening at the Ryder Cup. When we just didn't do anything. I don't like. Oh, it's our like fans that are doing. I don't understand. Like that's so.
I think we're probably blocked by him, right? I can't search him on any form of social
I would guess
media.
so. I would guess so. Yeah, I got a note I got was that claims bro culture is all at your front door. References to, quote, fat, quote, cross-eyed, quote, shit golfer doesn't exactly focus an argument on the Ryder Cup. That's just, yeah. So
I got to tell you that feels a little pointed at me, if we're being honest.
yeah, one of those feels pointed at me as well. And then,
And this happened on what? This happened on the fried egg?
No. This was just Jeff and some other guy doing a podcast.
Fuck him.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I haven't actually listened to it. I don't know.
Not many people have, I would imagine.
No, and then like I said, it didn't seem to. I wouldn't say transcend the game of golf because I didn't. That's the only spot I heard about it was someone niche texted me about it, and
not a good history for the Geoffs on this podcast, at least.
No,
maybe with this new interview will cleanse the palate of the Geoffs on this.
This is a bounce back for the Geoffs on the podcast. I would say this is a big bounce back performance and just a lovely voice to listen to with the Australian accent coming from Mr. Geoff Ogilvy. It's just very soothing. Everything sounds a little bit more intelligent and well thought out as he sort of speaks. And so yeah, that interview is coming up at the end. If we could find any of this, maybe Ryan Richson could do some.
Frankie's
some deep
rifling through the internet right now.
I'm trying to find it. I'm also trying to find. I thought there was another Geoff that spelt the G off, like another athlete. I guess there wasn't.
I'm picturing a Houston Astro with the name Geoff in that way, but I could be wrong.
Jeff Jenkins. It looks like he was a brewer. Shout out to Ryan Richson. I don't know, man.
Not
I can't
that
really.
many.
I'm picturing always saying
Fuck
Geoff, but maybe
ChatGPT.
it was for Ogilvy. Maybe it was always for Ogilvy.
It could have been. He comes up pretty quickly on ChatGPT. Also, I hate this. I go. Who are the most famous Geoffs ever? And ChatGPT just goes, love that question. Dash. Don't fucking say that. You know what I'm saying? That's like such
Don't
a
try to make it interpersonal. Don't act like you have a real personality.
I know you're a fucking data center in Texas. You're not like. What do you mean? Love that question.
Right, Louis
It's just a
C.K.
question.
on that Theo Von podcast was like, every time you do any of these things, like questions or ChatGPT, like there is something that's like making a noise and firing some little speck of smoke up into the air just so you could get that answer. Really, anytime you do anything, once you hit your phone to check the time, it's constantly using this energy in this like little storage room somewhere in like Texas or Oregon. And he's like, it's amazing to see the dumb shit that people do on the internet and waste.
Yeah, he was saying, like there's data centers that are like taking up water. He's like, when you scroll, you think that it's nothing. You're just like, oh, I'm scrolling in bed at 2 a.m. But what it's actually doing is like, it's at a data center, like taking up the water from a town that is like then costing.
Just
like,
scrolling,
people's
not even
lives.
clicking. Yeah,
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's so true. It needs to be coming from somewhere. Like it's just he's like, this is nothing. He's like, this is not actually producing any energy. It's just, you know what I mean? It's got to be coming from somewhere. Like you doing any action on your phone is dead. It's just like a block. But like everything you're doing within it, because you have to connect to internet, you need a SIM card, you need the whole deal. It's happening somewhere else, and it's causing chaos. It's causing absolute chaos. There's this little monitors going beep 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 beep, and just shooting.
And
out.
think about how many people are doing that all the time.
Oh my god!
I use ChatGPT. I used it in a way like I want to go back to the gym. I want to get back in shape. And if people have listened to this entire podcast,
because of that walk
is that where
pad.
the walking pad? Yeah,
I will end up using that. Yes, but I want to get back into going to the gym. And again, for people who've been listening for a long time on this podcast, like welcome to the 12,000th time that I've decided to do this. But and I was like, build me a workout plan. Like I want to use this instead of just like using ChatGPT to ask it stupid questions. I want to use it in a way where it can actually help me. So I was like, build out a workout plan for me when I go to the gym, because I want to do a little bit of lifting. I want to kind of get back into that world and just sort of get into shape. So it did. It gave me, I was like, I want to lift 3 days a week. And it gave me Monday, Wednesday, Friday, gave me all the lifts to do. I went yesterday. It was fucking horrible. I hated every second of it. I probably never walk through those gym doors again. But for one day, ChatGPT gave me a plan and I did it and it worked. And I'm sore today.
so hard with how much we travel. It's such a. I talk about this with Francis all the time. I tried to get into it, and we tried to do this with Brendan. I was like, "Well, we're gonna go to hotels like crazy. We can go to hotel gyms and stuff." And then it's just like you're so fucking tired. I don't know how people find the energy to go work out. Like people, especially that work on the road as much as we do. When you're at airports, like the other day when I went to LSU and we went to Pop Punk. How would I have ever worked out the day before, the day of, or the day after of that? It was like there would have been 3 days I literally couldn't have lifted a single thing. We like got there. It was like an hour and a half drive from New Orleans. Once we got there, you had to do a sound check. Then you had to go back. You had to eat something. You haven't eaten anything since 8 a.m. Then you had to be at the venue at like 7 o'clock. When was I working out then? Then you did the show. The next morning you wake up. You're like you're traveling for 6 hours to go back to New York, come right home. I'm going straight to the gym from that. Like I got 3 hours of sleep. Like I can't even imagine how people do this.
So,
when are they walking into those gym doors? What's happening with these people's lives?
It's a great point. And the reason that I'm doing this now is because I'm home a little bit for the next few weeks. Like we're traveling a little bit here and there, but I do have a stretch where I'm home and I want to try to get into a routine. Then maybe I will be, once I have something off the ground, once I'm maybe on the road, then maybe I'll be a little bit more motivated to just do something. Maybe not do the full thing, but just knock something out. Again, I've had this conversation with myself a million times. So we'll see if this one
That's
sticks.
a good conversation. It is nice to get moving. Like Hannah and I, now that we have the baby, we go for long walks. And
sure.
Like, and we golf a lot. So I'm doing the same thing, but it's not like when you're actually focusing on walking and you might do like a mile or so. That's like a nice feeling, especially after you eat, digest everything. You actually feel like a healthy person instead of just, I think like 6 months ago, we used to eat and just go straight on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
And now like we eat and we walk. And so such a better difference.
Walking's nice. There's no, and I know the sort of the brand and the culture of this show is maybe we don't highlight walking on the golf course all the time. Not the worst idea to get out there and like walk a golf course and how good that is for you and the fact that you're doing a fun activity. And for me, I mean, this winter I have plans to play hockey like 4 times a week. And it's just that difference of when you are going to a gym, like you're just saying, Frankie, like that part sucks. That mental hurdle sucks. And like finding something that's kind of fun that also is a good workout, I think is a game changer. And I'm with you. I don't get how there's people that are fiends that like live to go to the gym. And I don't even mind it when you're there. It's not that bad. You're like working out. It's good. You feel better as you're doing it. You're pushing yourself. Just the whole process of going there fucking sucks.
I need a guy on Long Island that does the same workout plan for like Tobey Maguire when he became Spider-Man. Like he took like a little scrawny guy and made him into Spider-Man. And like they do those Hollywood like transformations. Maybe it's like 6 months of just like a crazy workout plan. And all of a sudden you're able to wear like a Spidey suit. I need somebody to like be my guy out here. I can't go to the gym on my own. I get crazy gym anxiety where I'm looking around. I've never been in one. Like I got to ask someone to like, are you done with that? Or like, then like you can't like try a new workout because you're like, you have no idea how to do it. And what if you fail? I need a guy that's like, come here. It's just us. And we're going to fucking do this. And then we're going to get it done. And like, you have to show up or else like you're pathetic. And like, you've wasted my day. If I'm wasting somebody's day, I'll show up because I don't want to do that. But like if it's my own day, I'm never going to do it because of all those reasons I just stated. Tired, anxiety, like you just don't want to be a part of that whole world.
Being in the gym lifting yesterday, I felt like such an asshole. Just
sucks.
And what you realize ultimately is nobody cares. Everyone has their own headphones in. They're doing their own thing. They're just trying to get their own workout in. But when I was doing my first couple of lifts, I just felt like everybody knew I was a fraud. And they're like, look at this guy. This is definitely his first day in here. We're all regulars. And who's this bald fat guy who thinks he's now going to turn his life around and get into shape? No chance. But then once you get 30 minutes into it, again, everybody's in their own tunnels and everybody's just sort of doing their own thing. But their gym anxiety, and I know people know that it is a real thing where you're just like, I got to walk over there. There's people over there. Are they done with this equipment? Can I get on? how sweaty is it? Do I got to how
Am I
it's just the
using it
whole thing.
right? Am I using it right? Do I clean it down properly? Are they looking at me like, has this guy's never been? They definitely know I've never been here before. I look like I've never
Yep.
been before. I'm leaving. I'm just fucking leaving. Fuck this. This sucks.
100%.
My life's way easier.
I
I got a
definitely didn't
gym
finish,
walking
like-
distance from my house. I've never been.
You have a what?
A gym walking distance from my house. I've never been
Yeah.
down in town.
Bro,
I just
take up roller
never
hockey
get it.
again. Get back into roller hockey.
I know, and then like I get nervous about getting hurt because like I'm not that good. I've told you that before. Like I'm not that good at it. So like when you're out there, things could happen. Like if it's not the thing that you're most
It's
comfortable
outside
in
your
life,
control for sure. It's outside
and
your
it's
control.
like,
But
I don't know. You could
sounds
just
to me like
frickin'
you're just
fall
as
on your
likely to get hurt
wrist.
in that gym.
You could definitely get hurt in the gym too. There's no doubt. I mean, that we think that might be Tiger Woods' demise. Is he just got like
Could
now
be
he's
it.
getting a bunch of back surgery.
Stop hammering dumbbells.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to get back into the hockey. It's just like, God, I would hate to freaking snap my wrist and miss, tailor-made media day because I was playing at freaking sport time,
Yeah.
Yeah, might save your life though. Get that.
That's my other
cardiovascular
thing is I'm just getting old. And if I don't start doing something, this is just kind of it the rest of the way. When you're in your 20s, you've got so much trial and error and garbage food to eat and cigarettes to smoke and booze to drink where you're just kind of like, all right, maybe I'll work out. I'll do it for a few months, but I'll give it up. I'm a few years away from 40 years old. And at that point, like your body, I think decides like it's kind of coming to an end. Not that it's going to, but everything kind of slows down. And if you don't work at it, it'll get way, way worse. And that is part of my motivation as well. Again, I probably won't go back to that gym, but in case that I do, this will be the point where it turns around and I become a healthier person.
I agree. That was 100% the philosophy behind me going and doing all the medical scans and all of that.
That's
which
right.
is just not that I think I'm unhealthy right now and on a horrific trajectory, but it's like, what tweaks do we need to make on this trajectory so that in 20 years we don't have major issues? That's sort of like the thinking. And then like, yeah. But boy, is it hard. It is hard to make changes. And they're like,
make
well,
it easy. It's way easier just to eat pastries.
Oh, dude. And the doctor's like, well, there's two ways we can go about this. Mr. Riggs, we can you can either make lifestyle changes or I can just give you stuff. And I was like, let's try lifestyle changes. He's like, I really like that answer. We're going to do this and this, and we'll see where you're at in like 6 months. And I just know he's going to be like, nope, that's just not working, brother.
Because there's a lot of people out there now who just take the big O. They just put the big O in and then they lose a ton of weight. So I want to at least try to like do it the real way. But
yeah, because I don't know. That's too much for me. Like sticking something in your ass cheek and it like just fucking you just become thinner. I don't know. I mean, obviously it works for a lot of people.
Works for so many people.
Who knows what the hell the side effects of that is? But at that point, it's like if you look hot and good for a decent amount of your life, is it worth it? Probably.
What's worth looking hot?
Dude, Hannah and I were like, oh, let's eat healthy tonight, and we're like, all right. And then like the day just got away. This was last night, and the day just got away from us. We were doing so much. The baby was like, we were just hanging out with the baby. We went on. It was raining, and then we found like a pocket to go outside and go walk. And then by the time we knew it was like 6 o'clock, he had to get a bath. And then we're like, all right, we have like an hour to get food. So we went down the block. This place, Henley's, like one of our favorite little taverns there. And we sat down, and of course, like I love all the food there, so I just got a French onion soup. I got buffalo chicken flatbread, and then we shared like truffle fries, and I had a beer, and then we walked out of there. I'm like, couldn't have been less healthy. Couldn't have been less healthy. Like it is as unhealthy of a meal as I've had in months, weeks, and I've had Taco Bell recently, and like I mean, all these things. Like this is not working. It's just not working.
Well, for you. Like me and Riggs, I have all 24. They're mine. I own each single hour of the day. It's all me. It's all me, and I still don't do this shit. When you have a kid, God bless. I don't know how you get anything done. I stand in awe of you and Brendan and Kyle Timms and all of you who have kids that get anything done. Like I have a lot of respect for that because I have all of the hours of the day and I don't do fucking anything.
Yeah, it is insane. I mean, honestly, Hannah does a lot more because we're always on the road, but like the scheduling is insane. Like how many naps he has and when he has to eat. These are times that when that alarm rings or like when your mental alarm rings and you're like, oh, he needs to do this, has to happen. He needs to eat then. He needs to take a nap at that point. So like you have to base your entire day around that. There are certain things that you literally just cannot do because he's doing those things. And that's for majority of the day, right? Like there might be that window from 3 o'clock till 7 o'clock when he's just yours to just do whatever you want. Throw him in the car. Let's go get food. Let's go to a pumpkin patch. But like that's a 4-hour window. You know what I mean? Every other time we're either taking naps in the car, in the stroller, at grandma's house, at our house. There's something going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is. It's a lot. And he's not even mobile yet. I can't even imagine when he starts to run around. Can't even imagine.
Are you tired of overpaying for your golf habit? It's a total buzzkill. That is why you need Golf Pass Plus. It's the ultimate golf hack for the guys who actually play. As a member, you'll save more than $400 every year. It's pretty sick. You get a whole year of Peacock Premium included with your membership. So that's all kinds of live golf, all the live golf you can handle. If you want to get better at the game, which we all do, you also get access to expert instruction videos from real pros, not amateurs who are just farming for those clicks. And we all lose a lot of golf balls. Everybody, way too many golf balls. When you join Golf Pass Plus, you get a $50 credit for golf balls. So what a great package this whole thing is.
Yeah, the instructional videos are what I use the most. It's, if you're ready to take that next step into being a golfer, a golf fan, a golf sicko, this is the way to do it because they have all the live golf, like Riggs mentioned, but the instructional videos, they really help you out. They've got short game stuff. They've got bunker stuff. They've got everything. Every facet of the game is covered in the instructional videos, and that alone is worth the price of admission. It's a great, great thing.
Yeah, I'm on the app right now, and we were just on this the other day talking about the podcast, so they've already uploaded. It's a daily video tip, 3-minute videos, right? So weight training your chipping, stop struggling with the scoop, cure your early extension, step and swing drill. These are 2-minute videos coming from professional pros that are teaching you the right swing thoughts and practice instructional videos that you can take to the driving range and become a better golfer. It's as simple as that. They're not going to change your golf swing by watching a video, but it will give you a lot of things to work on your own swing. You're going to end up changing it based off of this information. That's how we get better. Little swing thoughts, little practice thoughts. That's how, and if we're golf obsessed, you got to be in it to win it. And you got to have this app because it has everything on there.
It does. So stop overpaying for your golf habit. Golf Pass Plus gives you the hookup on tee time savings and also on the expert instruction we're talking about so you can play more and play better. Join now and get a $50 credit for golf balls. Golf is hard. Protein is easy with one Hershey's double chocolate. Gentlemen, do you think we'll ever get a hole-in-one on camera? Ever? Any of these three?
I have faith that we will. I really do. And I know
Really?
all of the data so far and all of the videos and everything, all the evidence thus far would say no. But you got to think at some point with all of the rounds that we play, with all the stuff that we do on video, at some point, one of us has to get it in the hole-in-one swing. It has to happen.
Yeah, at some point it's got to happen. I mean, I just holed out for Eagle at Shinnecock I talked about a couple of weeks ago. 128, hit the middle of the green, falls in the hole. It was that same sensation I've been yearning for of like watching a ball go in the air, hit the green, and then just disappear. So like if I could see that go in, I could see another one go in. I know for a fact we can get one. It's just like you go on Reddit, you go on the golf Reddit, and just this week there was a 4-year-old that just hit a 3-wood onto a green and it goes in the hole. Like 4 years old, hole in one. It's just not fair at that point. It's like winning the lottery. I mean, it's luck. You have to put a good swing on it, but there is a ton of luck that goes into just hitting the pin and it falling into the hole. It is a small little target, man, and it's a small ball going a long way. So, I mean, I hope that we can get one. I think we'll get one, but I could totally see a scenario where we live our whole lives without getting one.
I think we might. What are we, 50 years old doing YouTube golf videos trying to get a hole-in-one? It's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's already been like 8-9 years, and we got nothing. So I did see FP talking about his, and he was like, at least this hole-in-one I got was a great shot, which is kind of like, to Frankie's point, you hear about plenty of them that sometimes somebody blades one, catch one thin, whatever, and it just rolls right up, hits the pin, and goes in. Point is, I really hope we get one. When it comes to only one Hershey's double chocolate is actually made with Hershey's cocoa, and protein just got delicious. Try one's other awesome flavors too, by the way. The one Reese's peanut butter lovers, one Hershey's cookies and cream. So make sure you go check it out and buy the new one Hershey's double chocolate protein bar on Amazon. 18 grams of protein, only 1 gram of sugar. Protein just got delicious.
Dude, it was nice after our LSU show, which was awesome, by the way. Pup Punk, it was a great show. We had like 3,000 or like 4,000 people show up to this place, Fred's.
Dude, the crowd looked insane.
The crowd was
Yeah.
insane. The pictures don't even do it justice. Like they have this place at Fred's. It's in Tigerland. It's like the coolest spot in any college that I've been to. It's just like this huge tent, multiple bars owned by the same guy. You see this guy and the guy that owns it, and you like can't believe he owns this whole entire place. He's like a surfer bro, but he's afraid of the ocean. And it's like he's got just like stringy blonde hair that goes over his eyes, and he's wearing legitimately ripped t-shirts. He's hanging up flags for us in this like green room. He's the nicest person of all time. Mark and Betsy are the two owners, and it's just like they're the nicest people ever, but they own this outrageous land that just houses 5,000 people on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all weekend long. So we had our show there, and it was packed, absolutely packed to the gills. Great show. Livvy Dunne was there. Paul Skenes was there. We met them before the show.
No shit.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Hell
They
yeah.
were super nice. They stayed for the entire show. We talked to them after also. We couldn't believe it. Like they
Unreal.
came for like our set. We went on at 11:15 at night. And they showed up at like 11. We literally like met them right before and then went on stage. And then when we got off, we're like, you think those super famous people are probably gone, right? And they were still there waiting for us. Not like waiting for us, but like
That's
in the
pretty
back, like just like we were just talking to them. Paul Skenes has crazy aura, as does Livvy Dunne. But like Paul Skenes, you look
Dude.
at him and you're like, God, that guy just throws 100 on the fucking paint. On the paint. Just on the black constantly. The guy lives on the corners. And
That's
he's
another
win
one of those.
so many Cy Youngs. It's just
Those,
so
right. Those
ridiculous.
types just aren't. I feel like they're not around as much. Just like a fucking flame guy who can just do it on the mound. It's the best.
Yeah, it's like he's got that like he doesn't have the same personality yet. I feel like he hasn't unlocked it. He's kind of like a not like a lights are on but nobody's home, but like he's just got one of those personalities where it's like, what's up? Oh yeah, you guys do that golf thing. And it's like everything's
Mhm.
kind of like super just quiet and like you just know maybe he's housing a lot of energy to throw 101 on the black, but like
Yeah.
he's just like housing a lot of energy inside. And then like because I
Little
want to
Cam
compare
Young,
him to a
little
Josh
Cam Young
Allen,
energy.
but Josh Allen has like a little bit more of a personality now. It's almost
People say
like
it looks
right,
like Josh Allen.
it's almost like pre draft like Josh Allen. Like when we did the pizza review with Josh Allen, he was a little bit more reserved. He came with his family. You know what I mean? Like there was just
Yeah.
like a different thing. Like Josh Allen was like a little bit more of like a reserved guy, but they kind of look the same. They have the same aura, if that makes any sense.
I agree. I can
Yeah.
see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can see
Yeah.
Paul Skenes taking over MLB like Josh Allen's taking over the NFL. This is all bad timing because Josh Allen just lost a horrific game last night when we were watching Monday Night Football.
Big picture. You know, big picture.
Yeah, big picture.
30,000 feet. You got to look at
Yeah.
it that way. Yeah, it's almost like a pre-major winning Brooks Koepka. Remember, he didn't say a word, and then all of a sudden he
They've-
started
same
saying
type
everything.
of guy. Same type of guy.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. You see him and you're like, that guy's he's already something, but he might be one of the greats.
For sure.
That Paul Skenes card. You guys see the news around that Paul Skenes, like that trading card?
No.
Ryan Rich, you might have to pull this stuff up. Paul Skenes, like there was a 1-of-1 card. Cards are going crazy right now. If you talk to like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, like my cousins and my wife's cousins are obsessed with trading cards now. They do these polls. They go to these antique sports card stores and they all have TikToks and they all have the angle where they do this thing where they only show like the rims of the card and they just slide. Have you ever seen these? Has this come
No.
across like your TikTok? And
I
they're
see
so
them.
like
They're pretty sick.
so they're going through them and it'll be like, you know, and they'll pass all these cards, whatever, like a 1999 card or like a whatever, a bench player, and they're just firing through. And then they know when they get to their like the big card out of their pack and they slowly start to show the edges and what color and what holograms might be on there. And then they flip them up and they go nuts. They're like, this is worth $500. There's a Paul Skenes one that went for like, dude, they were like, whoever finds this, we're going to give you like X amount of dollars. And I forget what it ended up going for. I think this thing fucking went for like $3 or $4 million. This kid
What?
got it. Oh, yeah, dude.
It says
I mean, Ryan-
1.1 million.
What was it?
1.1 million.
1.1 million. Okay. But what the Pirates had offered this kid was like, we'll give you, if you get, whoever gets this card, you're going to get like season tickets behind home plate for like the rest of your life. You're going to get like all this autograph stuff from Paul Skenes. You're going to get to meet like Livvy Dunne in like in a suite. You're going to go to dinner with Paul Skenes, all these things. And the kid legitimately said like, go fuck yourself. I'm selling this thing. It was the offer was insane. And he's not a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, so he didn't care about it. But it just goes to show like how valuable they held this card. It was a 1 of 1. It got
That's
crazy
nuts.
hype. Someone found it like it was freaking Willy Wonka's golden ticket.
Yeah, cards are making a comeback.
Says it. They offered 30 years of season tickets, a meet and greet with Skenes, 2 signed jerseys, a number of private suites at PNC Park, spring training tours, and to meet Livvy Dunne. And then also they would get to appear on the late night show with Seth Meyers. That was the whole VIP experience.
Ooh.
30 years of season tickets is insane.
Well, there's the debate that's like, could you turn that into more than $1 million? But
That's what I was just thinking. If you sell it, because if you're not a Pirates fan, you don't live in Pittsburgh, like that wouldn't matter. But if you're flipping those tickets every year for 30 years, that's just an every year income that you have.
Yeah, but I mean, this kid got freaking 1.1 million. It's
True.
crazy what cards have turned into right now. And I kind of get it. Like I went to one of these stores and I walked in and there's all these different boxes. Like there's all these different so it's like the more expensive a box you buy, it's almost like getting like a scratch off or something. Like the more expensive box you buy, the more chance you have at a certain card, where they have like guarantee pulls in them or guarantee like 1 of hundreds in each box. So like there is like this crazy hype when you buy one. Like you feel this like this energy when you get this box. Like I gave it to Hannah's cousin and like we watched him open it up and it was exciting. He didn't get anything of note in there, but each card he pulled out, you're like waiting for a colorful one that like might be worth a couple $1,000s. It's legitimately scratch offs for children.
But it is fun. I remember, I mean, I loved sports cards growing up, but then I remember the heyday of Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And that was the same thing where you would buy a pack and you're just like, here we go. Hopefully there's a Charizard in here. Hopefully there's a whatever in there. And there is like a real excitement to it. I did not anticipate it ever coming back. Like physical media, anything that you can hold kind of went away because the digital age took over. But it seems like people have like a desire to have cards and to trade them and to sell them. And that was always the problem with NFTs, where it was, yeah, you own this thing, but I can't physically hold it. So what does it actually mean? So now that there's actually people who are like, no, I want a Paul Skenes card, I want a whoever card. That's really like Spider. Every time I see Spider at a Barstool Classic, he's talking to me about trading cards. And I'm just like, holy shit. And there's a bunch of people in the Chicago office who are super into cards and like pulling and ripping packs and doing the whole thing. It's definitely making a huge comeback.
Big Cat pulled a crazy Jordan once.
Didn't he make Brandon Walker eat it or something?
Oh, it was worth like 20 or 30 grand, I think.
Jesus Christ.
People are ripping packs again. And it makes me want to do it. Like I get,
dude,
like,
I have a store right here in like Islip that like it's the coolest store. I walked in and it's like a bunch of, nerdy sport fans. They're like 30 years old and they own this store and they've got these crazy long like glass like shelving units of just a million packs of cards, and they tell you like, all right, this one's like 20% of getting it, and this one's like 60% of chance of getting it, and the 60% chance one's like $1,000. They're making so much money. Like people are going in and buying these packs. It's crazy how much money.
Were there ever golf trading cards?
I
or
don't
anything
think
like
so,
that?
dude.
Gotta be some Tiger Woods stuff from the Tiger Mania in like the late 90s or something.
They should bring back golf trading cards. And you have like their major statistics on the back. Imagine like you pulled like a Tommy Fleetwood Ryder Cup like hologram card. You'd be going fucking nuts. You get it signed. And then there's other cards that like have a little piece of their uniform on there. So it's like there's like it's like authentic card and it's got a little circle. So you could get like a piece of Tommy Fleetwood. Oh my God.
All right,
a Jack Nicklaus PGA Tour card.
Ryan Richardson just pulled up a Google image search of were there ever golf trading cards, and there's Jack Nicklaus, there's Tiger Woods. I would absolutely
Live Golf has the new ones, the Panini. That's the new ones.
What's Panini?
It's like a brand.
All right, so Live Golf's getting in on it. That's a smart move by them.
Lunch sandwich. Wow.
I would, it's a sandwich. I would love a Tiger Woods trading card, like an Upper Deck Tiger Woods card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a 2024 Upper Deck. Dude, we need. How much is that one going for?
Buy it.
Dude,
Dude,
that-
I looked quickly. This 2001 Upper Deck Tiger Woods card is $99.
damn, dude.
Get it?
I'll buy it.
We might be able
Dude,
to
them-
get that signed too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Ooh.
And then
Now
when
we're going to
that
be
guy
but I don't want to
wins that-
become the adult
Yeah,
standing outside
true.
the stadium. We're going to use Baby Frankie to like get autographs from people. I don't want to do that.
Did you see that Jet fan meeting Sauce Gardner? It went
No.
viral. It's like a dad. They were in London for the game, and the dad was like, Sauce, who like we've actually done a video with, and he was super nice, awesome dude. So he's like out there taking photos of people, taking selfies, and the dad just lost his fucking mind. He was like crying, and the son was like not that. I mean, he was excited, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like in my group chat, someone's like, "Chill out, dude! Like, chill out, man."
I was never an autograph guy. I always wanted to take a picture with somebody, like if I met
Same.
them. The autograph, cool, definitely cool, but like it never moved the needle for me as much as like, let's take a picture.
As a
Yeah,
guy
back
that
in,
likes
like-
to like decorate places, I could see I'm into like getting cool stuff signed. Like I'm on a mission this fall and winter to get like JJ Spawn to sign all the stuff from the US Open.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. I mean, the signature is cool. I went through a crazy period where at the Coliseum, in the Coliseum days when I was getting like insane access because I was friends with the equipment manager. I was like 13, 14 years old. He would get me into the locker room after every single game. There would be this waiting area in between the opposing locker room and the Islanders locker room. And like friends and family would stand out there. There was not much room at the Coliseum. It was old school arena, but every player would walk by. So like I was in this crazy mode of getting like all these autographs of just like random ass hockey players, like third and fourth liners of like the Washington Capitals or whatever. And then whenever like the biggest player would walk by, I'd jump in and I would go for the photo, which it didn't make any, you're not going to make any money off of it. But I still have all these photos of me with like Ovi and Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaff and Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. It's like the list went on and on. It was every night, whoever was in town, I was getting a photo with them. It was the coolest thing ever. And now I say I was 13. It started to leak into like 17, 18 years old for sure.
This was 3 weeks ago.
No, it was like 18, 19 years old also.
An underrated part of, we talked earlier about how like getting older is you just get fat and you become immobile and like your life gets worse. But an underrated part of getting older is when you have a little bit of disposable income and you can go buy cool shit that you would have liked when you were a kid, especially sports memorabilia stuff. You go on eBay, you go on all these weird little sites and you try to find cool shit to decorate an office, to put in whichever room in the house. Like that shit's really fun.
Yeah, man. It is a lot of fun. Mantiquing. That's what Brandon Walker does. He'll just go there and he'll just buy all the stuff he wanted to buy in like the 90s, you know?
Oh, it's so fun.
Did you guys ever play the card game Showdown, the baseball game?
No.
Oh,
No.
damn. It's not really worth talking through it.
All right.
Damn.
People listening to it that probably have played. It was a great card game that like you would build out your team. It was almost like a video game for card games. So like you would go out and buy Showdown packets or packs, and then like you would pull them, and like you'd get a Derek Jeter All-Star card, and like you'd play this game with dice and like a field, and like if you rolled, when Derek Jeter was up, if you rolled a certain dice number, he would, on the card, it would tell you if you roll a 4, it's a double or a triple, and like the better card that you had, it was always like a home run or like a triple or a double, or like if you had a pitcher, I rolled a 4 and you rolled anything higher, it was a strikeout. So you played the Showdown game and you got to build out your team, and it was so much fun, like getting one of those hologram cards and like showing up to your buddy's house and you all had Showdown cards, and like you had just the better team because like you just like acquired way better cards, and you would just dominate everyone because all you have to do is roll like a 2 or higher to get a base hit. It is a lot of fun. It got me going. Like I want to do all that with Frankie. I want like physical games like that, where it's not just like, of course we're going to play video games together because I love that too. But like, I want to do that stuff that I grew up with.
I think that's all making a comeback. I think people are like more into that than ever.
Ryan Richardson's a
big
big baseball
Monopoly
guy. Did you ever
people.
play Showdown? He may have been too young for. I don't know how old Ryan Richardson. Ryan Richardson might be 42. I don't know.
I'm 28, turned 28 like 3 months ago. No, I've never
Happy
played
belated.
Showdown.
It sounds familiar once you described it. It sounded like something that I'd never done, but I'd heard about it.
I was big on
Risk,
like
I
the
would
2K
say.
one, where you could go back and redo all of the old like moments, like try and come back from 3-0 against the
yeah.
the Yankees and the Sox, like all that. That was my big thing when I was little.
I'm doing that right now with
pretty cool.
NHL 26. I'm ripping all these like hockey So in video games now, they've got that same. If you have that itch of cards, they've got this hockey ultimate team or football, whatever, the NFL ultimate team, where like you basically acquire cards and like those are your players that you play with online. So like you have packs, and this is how they're making all their extra money. Is like they're building out these ultimate teams.
My nephew's obsessed with. He's obsessed
Dude, it's
with
crazy.
It in,
Because
in FIFA.
I could see a kid getting frustrated that he just has a bad team, and then like it goes to purchase points, and like a pack, a really good pack that guarantees you 85 overall player or more is like $40 cash. So like I could totally see a kid sitting there just mashing like the $100 point, pack, and just like running their parents' freaking card rampant and building out. Now you got like Mario Lemieux and Sid, because in this game you can get all legends too. So you can get like Wayne Gretzky skating around there with like no helmet on and shit. It's like, holy fuck, like that's unbelievable. It costs you like $200 to get that though. Real money, like real cash. Like I'm doing that right now. Like at night, I'll go down, I'll build my hockey ultimate team, and I'm just to get the points. You got to play these old moments. So you got to get like 5 goals with fucking Jaromir Jagr in like the third period, and then you can unlock them. And it's impossible. You just keep redoing the third period, and like it's nuts. You're sitting there like screaming at it. Like I'm not. You
can't go to the gym, dude. You got no time to go to the gym. You're trying to score.
This is at 2 a.m. Yeah, I guess I could go to the fucking gym.
I gotta score a bunch of goals with Jaromir Jagr in the third period.
I'm only scoring 3 goals a period with number 68 out here. God damn.
I think I'm gonna buy this Tiger Woods card.
You should, dude.
$99.
$99. Also, Beef, our guy Beef, gave me a PCA card, a Pete Crow Armstrong card a few months ago. I don't know if it's worth anything. It probably isn't, but I was like, oh, I love Pete Crow Armstrong. And he was like, I ripped a pack the other day and I have his card. I'll bring it to you because he's the nicest guy ever.
Dude, you got to throw that shit in a sleeve. Sleeve it, they say.
He sleeved it for me.
Woo!
And I have it.
Man.
I think we should get into this, man. This is a fun hobby. It really is.
Did you guys would you guys get when Tiger won the Masters, the Time magazine of him on the cover?
We used to get, we got that in the office.
Yeah, somebody sent a bunch of those, and I've like still got mine, and that's another one that when we go to one of these events that I want to get Tiger to sign.
Is it Time or is it Sports Illustrated?
Oh, it's Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, I have that somewhere. That's a great one. That's one of the greats.
Yeah, that's a cool ass item. That is a cool ass item.
Yeah, I imagine we dive all the way back into cards and sports memorabilia. It's a fun world.
You got to know, what are you trying to accomplish out of it? Just get cool cards? Or are you trying to like make money off of it? Like people that go deep into it are trying to get the value, and like they're going to like trading.
This is like the gambling thing. I'm never going to be able to do that. I got a blind spot. I'm not going to be sitting there trying to grind over like an extra 500. I just, I would rather, I don't know. There's other things.
It's fun to find somebody like we have a couple of like our cousins in our life that do it. So like I like to be around them when they're doing it. At least I get a little bit of that excitement. Like they'll get the card, they'll sell it for $50 or whatever. But at least I was there. I could buy the pack, hand it to them, and like they open it on their little felt, and it's like, oh fuck, let's go. Let's get.
That's
somebody.
How I feel when I'm with Spider at the Barstool Classic. I'm involved in watching it and having opinions on what's going on.
An early teen to just be around. You have to
Ryan Richardson, can we look that up? Can we look up how to find a local teen to trade cards with?
Card pulling teen for Trent.
Diamonds Direct was founded by a diamond manufacturer in 1995. They go direct to consumer, which is huge. That cuts out the middleman. That means fewer markups and way more value for you. Perks are real, lifetime warranty that covers cleaning, tightening, even lost accent stones if you want an upgrade. They've got a 110% lifetime upgrade policy, so you can trade up anytime, just pay the difference. I got a great watch. When we were working with Diamonds Direct around the Ryder Cup that we did at Great Horse, I got a very, very cool watch. I don't have it on me this morning, but I've worn it a bunch, shown it in videos, worn it on the podcast many times. It's all style, it's all class. And then they've also got the big one, which is you buy an engagement ring, $3,500 or more, and you get her wedding band for free. There's no fine print, just a seriously good deal. We got some great stuff from Diamonds Direct, gentlemen.
Yeah, you go on the website right now, and like to build out this engagement ring, it's awesome. They have this 3D ring studio, and you can choose your style from like a solitaire style to the halo to the 3-stone to the diamond accented. There's 22 settings, and as you click through, it builds out this virtual ring for you, so you can really see everything you're going to be getting and what it's going to look like. So I know a lot of people might have some reservations about not actually physically seeing the ring. They make it as easy as possible to see all aspects of it. You're going to be able to twist it around, 360, 3D view of it, and you can really, really customize this ring. And then, like Riggs said, if it's $3,500 or more, they're going to throw in the band for you. So that's an unbelievable deal. Something I didn't have the benefit of being able to use when I got my engagement ring, and I wish I did, because I hated the whole process of getting an engagement ring. I hated going to the actual place and dealing with the people and feeling like you're getting ripped off. These are legitimate. You know what you're getting because it's right there on the website. Just go to Diamonds Direct. It's the best way.
Big moments teed up. Don't choke. Start with our picks from Diamonds Direct. Use the code Barstool. Very simple. The code is Barstool at checkout for 15% off your purchase. Fall sports spending adds up very, very quickly, from streaming subscriptions to catch every game, fantasy football, league buy-ins, team gear, game day snacks, and drinks. Rocket Money is going to help you budget for these expenses and cancel those seasonal streaming subscriptions before you forget. Been a huge, huge thing financially for me, for everybody on this show. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. What a great app.
Yeah, this thing is amazing. I use this thing all the time. Before I used Rocket Money, I didn't really have a grip on my finances. I would just go to my bank online and be like, okay, there's how much money I have. Interesting. But this one, Rocket Money, shows you what you're spending it on. If you make a big purchase, it'll send you an email being like, is this large transaction? Is it you? So it's checking in on who's spending the money, making sure it's all you. This thing has changed my life in terms of finances, because now I know my financial picture all the time. Every single day I look at it, I'm just like, okay. And it's peace of mind. It makes me feel better. I'm just like, okay, that's what all this looks like. And Rocket Money, it really has become one of my most used apps on my phone.
Rocket Money has saved users over $2.5 billion, including over $880 million in canceled subscriptions alone. Their 10 million members save up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. So cancel your unwanted subscriptions. Reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Fore today. That's rocketmoney.com/Fore, rocketmoney.com/Fore.
I am so close to finding this Ryder Cup thing. I think I'm on the right one.
Ryan Richard's been grinding on it. I would love
I've
to hear
been
this
listening
clip.
to it for a little bit. They've mentioned a couple of Barstool things, but I haven't found
What
them.
are a couple Barstool things they've mentioned?
You want me to play a part?
I mean, I don't want to play their whole fucking shitty podcast.
I don't
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No, you got to find the meat. I want the meat. I don't want the freaking little.
Ryan Richardson's listening to two podcasts at once. One is live and one was recorded 2 weeks ago. His brain is going to split in half.
Don't they have
Poor
those
bastard.
like website that like has like basically like every transcribed like word that was said on a podcast? Because someone
Is that real?
there's a website that like transcribes them all or something. Because I remember I saw something.
Is there like a minimum like listener count and juice
Probably.
a podcast has to have to break the threshold of this, the water and the mainframe breaking
Well, I
down
saw on
the
Twitter
transcribe?
because there's all this first class talk at Barstool Sports now. You saw, I mean,
Oh,
obviously
that's right.
you've seen this. We've been getting tagged in this quite a bit.
Yeah.
And Francis was is about to do Son of a Boy Dad today, and it's like the most hyped episode ever because he's going to go after Lil Sass for ruining his first class privileges. But someone had written that like out of 500 episodes they've talked about an airport like 295 episodes, and then like Delta was referenced 325 times, and it was like via, and then it was this website that just transcribes like all podcasts, and you can type in certain words, and like so it was. I got to go back and look at it, but that's an interesting one with the first class. We know how much Francis loves that. I mean, he loves luxury, and then also just like getting on planes and getting off them first. The best way to do things, he's real obsessed with.
Big time.
So we'll see what the fallout on all that is.
I found the part that you were talking about earlier with the
All right, let's play it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Let's play this thing.
I'm reading the transcript, but here we go.
Wanting it. And that's the part that just blows my mind. And here you have a perfect example of why it's not great in golf and needs to be tempered. And they just, the PGA is really fumbling this one.
Well, come on. But I noticed again that Adidas has just signed a deal with Barstool, with the Barstool golf wing.
Yeah.
And we used to call him Skelly Bent Eye. What's his name? The Riggs guy.
See, not nice.
I mean, this fat, out of shape, terrible golfer. Modeling Adidas's new.
Oh, that's
line.
That's Trent. The other cross-eyed guy. And it. Peter Millar is a Barstool brand.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think that was just the meat of it.
PJ Maxx after
Holy shit, man. That really got me. He's like, oh no, that's not that. That's Trent. That fat piece of shit is that other guy.
Jesus.
Oh man, I'll give it to him. That got me, man.
Who the fuck is that Irish guy?
That's gonna get me to the gym today.
Who the fuck's the other guy?
The McKellar Golf Podcast. I don't know who McKellar
Jesus
is. But...
Christmas.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
That's unbelievable.
Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Just two dinosaurs talking.
Oh, the worst, dude. Just
two dinosaurs eating leaves and just fucking yapping.
That's also like the hypocrisy that they're complaining about. We're the reason that fans are saying vile things to the players. They're just sitting there saying more vile things about us than we've ever said about anything.
Right. When we attack Geoff Shackelford, and we could go, this might not be true, but to me right now it is. We're attacking the idea of him attacking us, being like, there's no place for what you guys do, the way that you do it, the perspective of the fan, et cetera, et cetera. I don't remember attacking his appearance that often or calling him fat or cross-eyed, but
don't think we did. I don't think we did.
Yeah, that was quite a clip from that show.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have it both ways, right? I mean, just like who was saying that on Colt's podcast? Where he's
Azinger.
Azinger is like, Rory can't be going after the fans if he's then screaming like "fuck you" everyone. You can't be going after Foreplay for being this disgusting mouthed podcast that's walking around riling up the crowd when you're legitimately shredding Trent's life. They're like, who's that fat lazy fucking piece of shit? Oh, that's Trent. Oh yeah. Like, what, are you fucking kidding me? Geoff Shackelford? Who let that guy out of his home?
Oh man.
God, dude, don't alarms go off when he opens up the windows or the doors? Like, you gotta think that he is on watch every time that he leaves his house, because they're like, Geoff, you're not allowed unsupervised walking. You know that. We'll take you to the garden, but you need to be with Mary. Mary needs to take you there.
Hold your hand.
Yes.
They take themselves so seriously. It's Adam. It makes me crazy.
It's
Geoff Shackelford is basically,
that's a great clip.
He's basically like dead at this. I mean, it's over. Like his career is over, and it's like, which is fine. Like, I mean, you have a career, it goes up, it goes down. He's on the backside of it. So he's just like taking shots on his way down.
I like how they call it stoolification too. That was funny to me. And they talked about it for a long time. Like, I started listening to it and it took me like more than a couple of minutes to find that specific part. So they were deep into ranting on you guys.
The stoolification, quote unquote, is the reason why he's like able to talk on a podcast and like think that anyone would be able to listen to it. Like, because like obviously we didn't invent that, but that's like our form of media, is like going on a podcast, getting it out social media wise, as opposed to his like written form or JeffShackelford.com to read the written word. Like, we kind of brought this world into the golf space, and like now he's like on podcast, which is so hypocritical, like shitting on us for that. It's unbelievable. The stoolification is why anyone would even hear his voice anymore.
Oh, good stuff.
Great work finding that, Ryan Richardson. That is way to dig through that and find that. Yeah, and again, the hypocrisy of all of it is very funny. Of, like Trent said, we sit here and like talk about the game of golf as best we can. There's an interview here. We've got two great guests on it, and we give our opinions. But man, to go like that and just in a vile manner attack me and Trent basically, and then somehow try to make a point that we're the reason that fans said X, Y, or Z is pretty insane. So yeah, I'm glad we found that clip. That got a great laugh out of me.
We sue. I want to sue.
No, we don't need to sue.
No,
I want to sue him. I want to be on the other side of a court with Geoff Shackelford.
All right. We're recording this, by the way, before the Kirk match on Wednesday, so we don't know the result of the Kirk match. We're obviously going to try to, we're put out a YouTube video of the whole thing with however many fans are there and the battle. He's getting 4.5 strokes, but there's also going to be dozens, hundreds, thousands, I have no idea, amount of Minifans out there. So I imagine if you want to find the result of how everything went down, you're going to be able to find that pretty easily. But we'll talk about that, next week. And once that whole video comes out, reminder to have checked out yesterday the Dallas Stars scramble video, as hockey is kind of off and running, the NHL season off and running. And then the kind of the last thing I got on here is Internet Invitational. So you're going to start seeing things. We've had some meetings on Internet Invitational and the rolling out of the Internet Invitational. We saw a teaser. I know Brendan Jones and his whole team have been absolutely grinding on it with the Jet is like flying in, I think, to consult on some of it. Dave's really getting in the mix on what's the release schedule going to be look like, creating social handles and trying to figure out how to roll out all of the packaged content, social style clips, all of it. And that's going to be coming out pretty damn soon. So I know people, it's the number one question that we probably run into people. A lot of folks, forgotten about it. We filmed all that stuff in August. It's an amazing amount of matches. There's 48 people that we dwindled down to a very small team of people having a chance to win $1 million. And that just takes a lot of audio tracks, a lot of different video cameras and angles and matches and drama, and somehow packaging it all together with a storyline and having it all make sense. They've been working on that bad boy for months while also having the Ryder Cup and all the other videos that we put out. So we're getting close. I believe this month those videos are going to start to roll out. And just letting people know about that.
Yeah, because once you get one episode out, you got to have the other ones ready to go. So I think it's not just like you could edit that first episode pretty quickly after the event is done. Not pretty quickly, but relatively fast. And it's getting the however many episodes we're going to end up having, 6, 7, however many it ends up being. You got to have them ready to go. And they are long episodes. So like we're going to release 2 a week. You got to have those things in the hopper. So they're editing the whole thing at once. It's almost like doing a movie. It's like you got to do beginning to end, get it done, and then we can really release the shit out of it. It's going to be hitting people pretty hard, pretty quickly over a couple weeks span. You're going to get from the first round, the first ball in the air, to the finals within a couple weeks. That first episode is going to be a pretty long one. We're explaining how it all works. We're explaining all the format in there. So just, stay patient with us. We think it's going to be the best stuff that we've ever put out. But we've gotten a lot of messages saying, like, when's this thing coming out? We're trying to do it the right way. We want it to all be done. We don't want any delays. The worst thing in the world would be to build all this momentum up, to have all this hype around the next episode, and then these guys to be scrambling around and not get it done the right way. Each episode has to be done as if it's the first one. Like, it needs to be a banger of an episode with all the best content, the best editing, all the tracers, all the leaderboards, everything this is an extremely big and large overhaul and overtaking for the editing side. So Brendan Jones hasn't slept in fucking months. Yep. I think the Jet's flying in to just like see if they can cut it down a little bit, because these things are like movie length, long videos. So we'll see. I mean, we're going to start seeing the first episode hopefully this week, actually, on our side, to just get a look at it, see how it looks, and then release it pretty damn soon. I know, like, everyone's so excited to see it, though. Like, Dave's like, I want to watch it before it goes out. Like, we all know it's the best stuff. We all know it. So it's just a matter of, like, how do you get it out there to the world and make sure that it comes across as good as it was in real life? Because it was the best stuff that we had ever seen.
So don't worry, that stuff is coming. We're working on it. It's getting really, really close. And yeah, like Frankie said, once we start releasing it, we're releasing it. It ain't just like, okay, we put a video out, maybe in 2 weeks we'll be done with the next one. No. They're going to be rolling out. So gear up for that. If you haven't, start clearing your content consuming schedules and be ready, because they are long videos, but they're going to be phenomenal. It is the best stuff that we've ever done. Okay. Anybody have anything else? Anybody have
Islanders are
anything
0-3.
else?
It's fucking ruining my life. Food tastes worse.
Mhm.
Like everything. And I thought having a kid would like make things like, oh, it's just sports. It's actually making it worse because he hasn't been alive for a Jets or Islanders win yet, which is crazy. He's like
Jesus.
5.5 months old. So like that's insane to me. So like every night's like I have a pit in my stomach. Like this kid doesn't even know what it's like to live in a world where the New York Islanders have won a hockey game, and we've been playing hockey for a week and a half now. So it's not good. Schaefer's the real deal, though. That's really what's going on in my mind. It's a fucking disaster on the island. Disaster.
All right.
I got nothing.
All right. Well, enjoy this interview again. Brandt Snedeker, Geoff Ogilvy, President's Cup captains. So the next year of team golf will all build up to these two and what they decide to do with it. So enjoy the weekend, enjoy these guys, and hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Rose Sparks are a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for stronger, harder erections, which I believe everybody wants. They hit the bloodstream faster. They dissolve under the tongue. If you get harder faster, that means having more sex. That's just a fact. Anybody could kind of come to that conclusion. The boost that they do give you lasts longer. So you're going to have a lot more fun for you and your partner. And I imagine if you're a selfless person, you want your partner to have a longer, more enjoyable time. Sex, gentlemen, very healthy, very important part of life and relationships.
Yeah, it's not everything in a relationship, but sex is definitely an important part of it. So if Rose is going to help out in that aspect of it, and it's going to make that part of your life easier and easier to deal with, I think this is nothing but a huge win for anybody who uses it.
Make sure you're ready for play with Rose Sparks. Rose connects guys with a medical provider 100% online, so that there's no awkward conversation with in-person providers. If approved, treatment ships directly to their door. Connect with a provider at ro.co/foreplay to find out if prescription Rose Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/foreplay. Again, ro.co/foreplay for $15 off your first order. All right, folks, we're joined by two very special guests here today. They're actually, in a twist of irony, I'm in Pinehurst, North Carolina. They are in our actual headquarters in Chicago, Illinois. We've got the 2026 President's Cup captains for the United States of America, Brandt Snedeker, and for the international team, Geoff Ogilvy. Thank you guys, of course, for joining. It's funny in this game how we shift our focus pretty quickly. I think that's a theme throughout golf of week to week. It's, somebody wins on Sunday, and then by Thursday, they're teeing it up again and trying to win again. And in the international and the team competitions, it's Ryder Cup, and then immediately we focus on President's Cup, and immediately we focus on Ryder Cup, especially for Team USA. Have the two of you sort of had time, I would say, already to digest much from a couple weeks ago at Bethpage and what you could kind of learn and take into the next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think being a vice captain up there, I learned a lot about the 12 guys we had in that team room. I think we learned a lot about what a good culture looks like. I think we can take a lot of positives from that experience. Obviously, the result was not what we wanted, but, I was really proud of how the guys fought on Sunday. I think it speaks to what the job Keegan did on making sure those guys bought into the team aspect. They bought into caring for each other, playing for each other. And, that Sunday was almost one of the most special days we've had in golf history. And to be a part of that and see those guys fight for each other was something we're going to try to build on and something we're going to use as an example of what a great team looks like and how hard we're willing to battle for each other. So lots of positives to take, lots of learning lessons to take as well. And so, still raw and still fresh and obviously still disappointed, but as you said, in the game of golf, we got to move on and kind of lick our wounds and kind of get back to the drawing board and make sure we get this thing right going forward.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I guess I get the nice seat watching the Ryder Cup because I can watch it from a neutral perspective and try to learn from both teams. And it's just as a fan, as a fan, the Ryder Cup is such an amazing event to watch. These team events seem to bring us a level of golf that you don't see anywhere else. You see the best golfers in the world. I mean, some of the scores that they shoot and they're birdieing every hole on the putts. I mean, I bet everybody playing there always wants to know, how do I get myself to this level in a normal tournament. You know, there's just something about having that team behind you and the atmosphere and the pressure and sort of that combined that the sum of the individuals become greater than the sum. The team is greater than the sum of its parts in a way, both teams. So I feel like I could pick through some of the stuff that Luke does with their team, which I think is really impressive. Some of the stuff that Keegan did, and some of like their rally on Sunday was amazing. It's everyone had given it to Europe on Saturday night. Everyone had, and then Sunday, watching it was a pretty compelling TV thing. I couldn't get up from the couch watching the whole thing unfold, and it's just an incredible event, and it just got me excited for next year in the President's Cup and gave me a few ideas, I think, here and there from, as I said, from both teams and the way they go about it. So yeah, it just every time I watch one of these things or I'm involved in one of these things, it just reinforces my love for team golf. Sort of in some ways wish we had it more, but in other ways, because of the rarity of it, that's why it's so special. You know, we don't get it all the time. So big fan of team golf. Looking forward to this next year.
I think we all are as fans. And, you know, I remember during COVID, and there were several players, I think Rory is one of them, who came out and he sort of talked about how the lack of fans when they restarted really had him struggling on Thursday, on Friday, to get that hyper focus. And then to the point you just made, Geoff, where I tune in on Friday morning of the Ryder Cup. I was there as my parents' first time ever at a Ryder Cup. And I felt this last year too. I was in Montreal. And I'm watching this insane level of play from the first hole. I'm watching guys pipe drives over the trees. They're dialed in on whatever little wedge chip shot they're trying to hit, and they're treating that first putt like it's to win the Masters or the Open or whatever it might be. And then, you know, Bethpage, I know course setup was a part of it, and it's been talked about a lot, but that fire that you see and that high level of play, and seeing, you know, Scotty go out there and lose in team golf shooting 9 under through 16 holes because the other guy shot 11 under. You guys have both played incredibly high level golf. You've played in President's Cups. Do you feel like you guys, the best player in the world, are able to bring out your best golf in this type of environment? Because I think for us, we all think we're going to collapse and melt down and have a heart attack if somebody put us on the first tee of one of these events. Yet I'm watching the play, and it almost seems to be elevated when I'm watching it.
Well, yeah, for me, I think I think there's two sides to that. Yeah, I think you get a sort of a collective belief. You become stronger than you normally would be because you feel like you've got the team behind you. And big occasions, I mean, we see it in playoffs and majors and at the end of tournaments that the level always gets better closer to the end of the tournament. Because whatever, you get more focused or it's more final. It's like, well, if I don't do it now, it's done. You know, I lose the hole. And I think match play is the same thing, is that your opponent hits it close. Well, you have to hit it close. You don't have any other choice. You have to hit a good shot. And I think that, or you have to hold the putt. If you don't hold this putt, you're going to lose the hole and you're going to go to the next hole. It's different from a stroke play tournament where you sort of, it's a 4-day project and 72 holes, and it's sort of there's a bit of compromise in there to sort of, how do I end up at the end of all these 72 little questions I have to answer in the best place? Whereas it's a one hole by one hole by one hole sort of operation match play, and you get put in situations where you have to hit a good shot or you're going to lose the hole. And I think it just focuses you and gets you, you don't worry about consequences. It's like, well, if I don't hit a good shot here, I'm going to lose the hole. You're just done. And I think that combined with the team aspect, the crowd, the 2-year build up, all those factors, it just, you get golfers playing, they're not playing above themselves because you can't play above yourself, but they're maximizing their skill set in these little moments. And it's incredibly compelling to watch. And I was part of it a few times playing. It's very scary when you're doing it, but when you look back, it's like it's sort of an out of body experience. It's like, how did I actually do that stuff? But it's incredibly satisfying to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, I think being around Bethpage and walking 5 matches with those guys and seeing the quality of golf that I saw, it just amazed me that these guys were able to, you know, step up there and hit these quality golf shots under that kind of pressure, keep putting pressure back and forth on each other. Like, it was unbelievable to watch putt after putt go in on top of other guys after they made putts or chip ins or whatever it was. Long irons going straight right at the pin every time. And I think those guys realize that, like, when you're in that moment, that finality of each hole is a real thing, and you there is no playing safe. There is no waiting for a good stretch of holes or a good, some easy putts where you can get going. It's every putt has to go in, every shot has to be close, every fairway has to be hit. And I think it just makes those guys dial in even more. The level of golf, I walked with Patrick for 5 matches. The level of golf he played was phenomenal. Just the quality of ball striking I saw out of him was unlike anything I've seen. And he seems like he does that in every team competition. And I keep pushing him to, like, pull a little bit of that out in a major and you're going to win by 10. That's not even be close because of the quality of golf I saw him have. And everybody had those moments that week, watching JJ Spawn play the way he did, or watching, even Scotty had a rough couple of first days. But when you go look at the numbers and look at how well he really played, it was because of who he played, just happened to make a few more putts than he did. He played fantastic on Friday or Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning. And so, that's part of it too. Like, you get these team competitions, and sometimes you just got to tip your cap and say, you know what, they made, 400 feet of putts on the first day on us. Like, there's not much we can do. When our putts didn't go in, theirs did. You can have all the great plans in the world, all the great setups, everything you want to have happen. But if, the other team makes more putts than you, there's really not a whole lot you can do. So, these team competitions seem to pull out the best of these guys, and it's fun to be a part of.
Yeah, it is so interesting that it is the most highly scrutinized event that we have, yet it's the smallest sample size. And so you could be judged so heavily by the results of your matches, whereas you only get every 2 years or every year, if you're lucky enough, team, the USA team. And then it gets broken down for decades, what your performance was like, what your record was like. And part of it, like you said, if somebody just goes out there and plays lights out, everyone knows in match play there's only so much you can do. I got a question about, you guys are sitting here, you're in our Chicago HQ, you're doing the interviews together. I'll start with you, Brandt, because you're so fresh off being right there with Keegan. Do you guys, the two of you, do you guys feel this sense of almost like camaraderie, almost this like partnership, in that you're both the two captains for the next year in the next team competition at the highest level of our game, and the men's game? There's only 2 people in the world that are the captains of the next teams, and it's the two of you. And I know, looking at all the interviews, a lot of the cool little, I think Rich Lerner had a great essay with Luke Donald at Keegan Bradley and how close the two of them were. Do the two of you feel, and again, I'm going to start with Brandt because he's fresh off, do the two of you feel some sort of sense of almost like Voldemort, Harry Potter type thing, where it's like you're kind of in this together, even though you're against each other?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. We're in charge of this thing. So, like, we want this to be the best President's Cup ever. We want it to be the biggest President's Cup ever. We want both of these teams to play their best golf ever, because at the end of the day, we want this to be a great competition. Obviously we both want to win and beat each other, but for the President's Cup to be successful, for these guys to really love this event, it has to be a high quality event, and it has to have a great crowd. It has to be on a great golf course, and it has to be a high, the level of play needs to mirror that. And so I think we both are invested in making sure this thing is super special. We're going to spend a lot of time together over the next year. Luckily Geoff and I have a great relationship. He's an easy guy to get along with, and we can poke fun at each other and know that, leading up to it, we're going to do everything we can to help each other to make sure this place is special, and it's a special event. Come Thursday morning when that first ball hit, it's going to change. We know we'll have a beer Sunday night and celebrate one team or the other, but Thursday through Sunday, we're going to want to beat each other's heads in, and we're going to do everything we can to do that. And that's just part of these team competitions. But, I think Geoff and I have an ownership in this to make sure that it goes off without a hitch, that everything goes well, and these guys have a blast when they get up here.
Yeah, certainly. Everything that Brandt said. I mean, we're captains of these teams, but we're almost custodians of, like, I'm the custodian of the international team for 2 years, and Brandt's sort of the custodian of at least for 12 months, for 2 years, of the President's Cup team for the US. And I'm just trying to hand the keys over to the next captain with the international team in a better spot than they are right now, is a big part of the job. I think Brandt and I are both still getting our heads around the scope of the job. There's a lot more to it in the background, I think, to try to get these events organized and to do what Brandt said, turn the to help this President's Cup be the biggest one ever and the best one ever and give our players the best experience. There's a lot that goes on in the background. The media likes to sort of make it all about that 1 week, and very much it's just about the pairings you put out, and it's about who plays with who and what colour your shirts are, and then that's all part of it. But there's so much more to this, and it takes a long time to get these events to be as great as they are, and we get to sort of steer that ship a little bit for the next 12 months. And that's really nice, and it's nice to sort of do that together. I think it's also reflective. The Ryder Cup gives out that great award, the Nicholas Jacklin Award, for the player who exhibits the competitiveness and the sportsmanship, sort of reflecting that putt that Jack gave Jacklin at the end of that Ryder Cup at that time, just sort of to show the spirit of the competition. And it really is like that. I mean, I know, like as I said, the media likes to sort of spin their own stories sometimes, and they'll spin the story that the two locker rooms don't like each other and there's a lot of passionate hate. But in my experience in these tournaments, nothing could be further from the truth. The times in those weeks when we bump together the two teams, there's a real common bond there and a real joy of competition. And we all do generally end up in the same room on the Sunday night and have a few beers and talk about the week. And the harder Brandt goes and the better his team goes, the more fun it is for us to try to beat that, And I think it is two opposing teams trying to win a really important trophy in golf, but we're sort of going through that same story together. And ultimately, the relationships and the experience of this whole thing are the most important thing. And we're going to sit down on Sunday night, I'm sure, at the end of the thing and have a beer and commiserate and congratulate and talk about the great experience we've had. And probably happy to hand over the keys to somebody else at the end of the journey. And sort of just celebrate what we just went through, because, as I said, it's not just a 1 week thing. It's just a 1 or 2 year journey, and we're just getting started in that. And it's fun to sort of have a running mate, if you like, in that respect to this point where we can get up there and sort of have the most competitive situation possible. It's, as I said, these team events are the best things in golf. Anyone who's been involved in them from a playing point of view or a captaincy point of view, or even the periphery of all the people who help us and outside these teams, the passion for these events is real, and that, I think, comes through in the competition when you watch it. And I'm just excited that we get to go through this.
Yeah, I completely agree in that the passion, all of it, they're the most exciting, the most fun events that we have. And again, that's from the complete opposite perspective. Weekend golfer, weekend hacker, fan of the game. When these events come around, there's nothing like it. I was lucky enough to be there in Melbourne in 2019. And I want to ask you, Geoff, about your team, from Ernie Els and the logo, and trying to sort of create almost like a general brand around the team. That year down there was as fun of an event as I've ever been to. That golf course is as spectacular as it gets. It's as good as it gets. It brought out such phenomenal golf, shot making, having Tiger, having the incredibly passionate sports fans that are down there, and having the competition be as close as it was is all time. Yet the elephant in the room is still the U.S. is 13-1-1 in this event. We all understand the challenges that your team faces versus USA of international, getting everybody together. Now that we're here, 6 years, it'll be 7 years later since sort of the rebranding, if you will, and all of that. How far do you think, the international squad has come in building this cohesiveness that everybody kind of understands is way more difficult than the Americans have?
Yeah, look, I think you're right. 2019 was obviously an incredible President's Cup, and Ernie was a fantastic leader. He was born to be a leader, Ernie Els, and he introduced the Shield, as you mentioned, which really was an important sort of timestamp in the international team's history. It's always been challenging to bring golfers from all cultures and all corners of the globe together and bring them in for a week and make it feel like a cohesive unit and a real brotherhood. I mean, we've got different languages and we all grow up watching different sports, and we're sort of enemies in every other sport, but then we come like once every 2 years and we have to try to get them together. That obviously was a challenge, and the Shield and Ernie that year really sort of, like you said, sort of it wasn't a reset, but like you said, the rebrand is a pretty reasonable word. Got us together, and ever since we have been growing in sort of brotherhood and teamship ever since. I mean, it's the chat groups keep going. Like the WhatsApp chat is been alive ever since. You know, he got us all in a chat, and it keeps going, and players come and go from that chat. But the team is more and more bonded and more together. Like it used to take us till sort of Saturday afternoon in a President's Cup week to feel really like a team. You know, like I'm going way back here, but the last few President's Cups, ever since 2019, we're a team now. 11 months out from the tournament. The guys are really excited. It's been a big part of it. Trevor did an amazing job grabbing the torch and carrying along in Charlotte in 22. He was a fantastic, charismatic leader, fantastic sort of speaker in front of the group. He got everybody really proud of wearing the Shield. We get guys going at regular tournaments now. They want merch all the time, so they can wear it all the time. They wear it to the gym.
Trevor sent me a bunch of it too. I have a bunch of the Shield, and I told him, I was like, I'm American. I can't. I'll wear it in secret because it's cool as hell. But I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do with this.
Well, look, I mean, I respect that, but you could have put a little hat on today or something like just to.
Oh no, we're not starting that now. No.
But it's been really powerful, and it is. I think, like you said, the record doesn't look amazing for us, but like it's a very new event. If you look at the Ryder Cup, the first 15 Ryder Cups, it was quite similar. And look, golf is it's taken us a while to sort of put all the pieces together. There's a lot to this event. There's so much more than just picking the right pairings and putting them out at the right time. You know, there's so much more to it. Building the team bond. I mean, if you sort of take a lesson out of, say, Europe's book, their build-up of this and the way they are in the Ryder Cup, you could go back to Seve. You know, you can go back to the early 80s and sort of the belief and passion that he brought into the team room. It still echoes today for them, and that's still there. And someone like an Ernie Els was like that for us. You know, you don't start winning instantly, but you create this momentum behind the sort of the international team that's been building and building every year. And we've got some young, passionate guys. We've got kids who come on tour now, passionate about wearing the Shield, and they look forward in the future to hopefully making teams. That wasn't as true before as it is now. So it's becoming more and more powerful as years go on. I mean, Charlotte was a lot closer than the final score looks. We were a long way behind, and we were coming pretty strong on Saturday and Sunday. There was a moment there in the middle of the day where it looked like, wow, this could work out mathematically. Montreal, I mean, we were 0-5 on Thursday and then 5-zip on Friday. Like all of a sudden we're tied on Saturday morning, and there was moments. I mean, Brandt and I have talked about it a bit the last few days. The US wins the 18th hole 2 or 3 times, or the 17th hole, and all of a sudden the whole thing flips their way. But if we hold the putt on the 18th hole, all of a sudden it flipped our way, and the singles would have been much more interesting, I think. And when we did the analysis, and I don't know if they saw this, but we actually won more holes in Montreal than the US team did, which is interesting that you can lose a cup and you look at the final score. It's like, well, it wasn't really that close, but we actually won more golf holes than they did. So it's clearly very close. And it's only a matter of time. Hopefully it's in Chicago. If it's not Chicago, hopefully it's the next one. But I feel like we're getting closer and closer to cracking the code, and sort of solving the puzzle of bringing all these cultures together and getting them all in as one cohesive unit for the week and playing golf. And golf careers are very sort of cyclical, up and down. I mean, you've got your outliers like Tiger and Scotty Scheffler who seem to play well every week of their life, but most players have good years and bad years. And I think very often in these events, you look back and it's like, well, of course that team won because they had 6 or 7 guys who had a really good summer and they're really in form and they're coming in with a lot of confidence. And so hopefully we can get a lot of our guys coming out of summer and having a great year next year and coming in with a lot of confidence. And sometimes that's the piece of the puzzle that you need. And that's really out of our control, except for motivating them and getting them excited about the President's Cup and hoping they can get themselves in form. So there's a lot to winning these tournaments. I feel like we're getting closer and closer. And as you said, the Shield's been really big for us. We've got a pretty good identity. They're all very proud of it now. They put it on their Instagram posts, and they wear their merch everywhere they go, and it's only a matter of time till we end up on the right side of one or two of these things.
No, I do. As much as we're allowed to say it as Americans, I like it. I respect it. I think it's cool as hell. And, Trevor's been a great friend of the program for years and years, and talking with him, even behind the scenes, having a beer, him and his wife, and talking through it, how much it means to him, to all you guys that have been a part of that team for a long time. You love it. And, golf's such an interesting game where you really don't despise the people that you're playing against generally. Usually you're friends with them, and especially you guys on your level, you travel with one another and you know each other's families and kids and coaches, and you share coaches and caddies and the whole deal. And so then this 1 week every 2 years where you're pitted against each other, it is hard, I think, for a lot of fans to remember. They're like, no, there's a lot of camaraderie on both sides. And so, no, I do think it's been great. I remember again in Melbourne just how close it was, how much of a comeback it took, how Tiger playing as good a golf as you could possibly play, was kind of what was required for the team that he was leading to come back and win that whole thing. And so I'll bring it now to the venue. You mentioned Chicago. I'm a St. Louis guy, and Brandt, you would understand this, but we hate Chicago when it comes to sports as much as humanly possible. But as a city, I love Chicago. I think it's one of the coolest cities that we got. It's beautiful. It's Midwestern, so the people in general are nice. They drive like lunatics, but otherwise very nice people and great sports fans. And so coming to Medinah, Medinah number 3, it's got a ton of history. It's got team golf history from the Miracle at Medinah. JT goes out there in 2019. He shoots 25 under par. People kind of look at it as outdated. Is it unfair, Brandt, that now your opposing captain comes in with this firm and remodels the golf course that you're going to be competing against them at?
I mean, it's totally unfair. Totally. I mean, no.
That's what I thought.
I mean, he did the remodel before he became captain. So this is one of those coincidences that happens every once in a while. Obviously never happened before and something we'll have to deal with. But, Geoff did a great job. He kind of took an old golf course that probably needed some updating, and the membership at Medinah trusted him and did a great job of saying, hey, it's yours. Go make this place special. And so it's a full redo. It's not like it's a touch up here or there. And so it's very aesthetically beautiful now. He took out a lot of trees and kind of made this beautiful piece of canvas, made this great piece of art. And so I'm curious for our guys to get up here and see it and kind of see how it's going to play. As Geoff and I have talked about the last couple of days, you have all these plans in your mind of how a golf course should play when you get out there, and then you put the best players in the world on it, and you're like, well, I never saw that line. I never saw that kind of shot coming in here. And so, I think the more we get these guys up here to see it, they can kind of get a better feel for how it's going to play. But it's a beautiful piece of property. It's a big ballpark, so it's great for fans. We're going to try to load this course up with as many American fans as we can, and it's a great venue for that because there's a ton of space, a ton of room out there, and the build out's going to be the biggest one we've ever done for a President's Cup. So super excited for that first tee. It's going to be loud and raucous. I want the Chicago fans to come out and be who they are, be fanatical, cheer our guys on, cheer on some great golf, and then we're excited about the challenge that Geoff's put in front of us. At the end of the day, we want this golf course to be the star of the show. We want the players to be the star of the show. We want to show the world and the Chicago fans what great golf looks like and what great competition looks like. And, anytime you have a championship golf course like Medinah, it's our job to make sure it shines the way it should. And Geoff did a great job of kind of bringing it up to modern day standards, and we'll see how it holds up, hopefully with some great weather and some great fan exposure and some great golf. It'll really show off.
Yeah, Geoff, I do want to talk to you about the golf course. I know you do a lot of work with Andy Johnson and the Fried Egg guys who are awesome. I still want to be on Design Disasters really badly. I got to figure out which course I want to go after. But going into a project like Medinah is something, as an Australian and the types of golf courses, sand belt that you're dealing with, which is much closer to links golf and sand based. You go to a place like Medinah that, last time I played, it was long before the redo, and it is tree lined and, parkland, American, high rough, Firestone-esque as a place could possibly be. When you go into a course like that, how difficult is it for you and your team to go in and be able to transform it into kind of what you think it should be, but also sort of be constrained, held by, whatever you want to call it, sort of the character of what's available and what's always kind of been there at Medinah.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a really interesting job. I think in that respect, it's when they came to us and said, "Do you want to pitch for the job?" We said, "Obviously, we'd love to." And as sort of we landed the job, and started going through, we went through the archives. My guys are great at digging through the archives. Medinah had a lot of history. You mentioned Andy. Andy did some drone footage for us, and he knew Medinah really well. And sort of, we went to all our pools of research and tried to find sort of some history. There was Bendelau was credited as the design. There was evidence that Tillinghast had been there a little bit early days. It had changed so many times. When we had these photos from the 30s and the 50s and the 70s, it's like every time we looked at it, it was a totally different golf course. So the history of Medinah had really been a history of change. So sometimes you go into such an old historic property, you think, well, this is a faithful sort of restoration of what was there. And it became pretty clear that Medinah, that's not what they wanted. They wanted the best version of Medinah they could possibly wring out of this great property. And you mentioned JT shooting 25 under. That was sort of a moment for them, sort of that, because they thought they had the toughest golf course in America. It was 7,800 yards or something, really long, really narrow. The rough was all juicy, and they got unfortunate. It rained a fair bit, I think, before that tournament. It was very soft, and the greens were perfect. And when you give these guys perfect greens and it's soft, someone like a JT is going to go out there and shoot a score like that. And I think they were a little bit sort of disappointed with that, or flustered. It's like, what do we do? How do we make this any harder? We can't make it any longer. We can't make it any narrower. And also, you can read into ranking. You got to take golf course rankings with a grain of salt, because it's a pure list of subjectivity, really, and personal preference. But their ranking had been very high, up in the top 20, really, in America in the 80s, and it has gradually just sort of eroded away a long way down. And they were just sort of confused and wondering why, because they knew they had such a great property, and say, can we, it was sort of a three-pointed thing. Can we put some more teeth in this for the pros? Because we love holding big tournaments. Can we make it more playable for our members? Because while JT was shooting 25 under, the members found it incredibly difficult, and it was a long slog, and it sort of wasn't their favorite course out of their three. And can we sort of get America to recognize this as the venue that the golf course that we really know that is sort of sitting under all this stuff? So that was sort of the task. And the club was fantastic in that we were a little bit sort of sheepish at making too big changes at first, because, wow, this is a historic place and you guys have held every tournament that matters. But they were really encouraging, and they said, no, please take a full swing. What would you do? Like, just go, like, throw the kitchen sink at this. So we did. We're all, I say we, our company, we're all, we all grew up on the Sandbelt. We're obviously very influenced by Royal Melbourne, Alistair Mackenzie, that Sandbelt style golf, but we're fans of the golf everywhere, the links golf, the golf out in the Hamptons, like the Rain and McDonald stuff, the Parkland sort of golf course, the California golf courses, the Heathland courses of London. I mean, we love the golf everywhere, influenced by everywhere. So the common theme is usually that the ground plays a little bit firmer, and there's generally a little bit of width and some sort of options and strategy involved. And Medinah it asked you to hit lots of really, really good golf shots, but it didn't really ask you any strategic questions, and it didn't really give any options. And it was sort of hit it 320 yards straight and hit a 7-iron under the middle of green and hole along putt was the question that it sort of asked. And we tried to sort of broaden that scope a little bit and ask a few more questions and sort of pull a bit more interest out of the property, which is such a fantastic place. I mean, if you got that piece of land without a golf course on it, it would be a dream property for a golf course architect to build a golf course at. So we loved the place, and as I said, they said throw the kitchen sink at it. They were willing to sort of spend whatever they wanted and do whatever they could to put Medinah back where they thought it should belong, and I think it should belong there too. It's a fantastic place. So it was a really fun job. Serendipitous or exciting for us, I guess, serendipitous that I became captain of the team, but a great situation that we get a President's Cup played around there. It's great for the club. The whole world's going to be watching that week. Some of the best golfers in the world are going to play there. I think it's cool that it's match play, so no one's going to get affected by the scores that people shoot. They're just going to see the great shots that players play, and hopefully it asks a few questions. And we feel like there's probably multiple ways to play every hole effectively, and so hopefully we get some guys who take some aggressive lines, and maybe his opponent will take the conservative line, and we'll see which one wins a few different times. And I think that'll be fun, as opposed to everyone hitting it in the same spot. And there's quite a few holes out there, whereas if the guy who's got the honour, he hits a great shot, well, the guy who stands up second, he's going to have to stand up and hit a brave, great shot too. And I think that's always fun in match play. A lot of drama towards the end of the course. So, it was a dream job for our company. Fantastic in every respect, and it's really cool that we've got an event this big to sort of, for Medinah's sake, especially to sort of showcase, no, hang on a minute, don't forget about Medinah. This is a really special place, and this is one of the best venues for a big tournament in America, because I think it really is.
What an interesting game we have, where the venue matters as much as it matters. And going into it, I can't tell you how excited I am to see it, and to see the best players in the world play it, to see changes that have been made, to see the artistry that goes into that, right? And have that kind of matched with analytics and data. And, you're putting bunkers in certain spots, believing that it's going to make the whole play a certain way, but you don't know until they get out there and play it. And I think watching all that unfold is such a fun part of the game. I got to ask you, Brandt, I know in the Ryder Cup, it's made a big deal out of course setup. Eduardo Molinari, we had on the show right after Rome, and he went through a lot of the detail that made us not really realize to the level that the home captains could sort of influence things. Keegan and the way it was set up at Bethpage has been talked about a lot. Going into the President's Cup, I don't even know. Is it the same type of setup? Do you have more say on the setup? Is it a neutral committee? How involved are you going to be, and how much is it on your mind of how this course that, again, Geoff and his coworkers designed, how much of a say do you have on how it's going to present itself?
Yeah. As the host captain, I've kind of full control over course setup of how it's going to play. I think we turn it over the weekend before, kind of with some parameters where we like to see it. And then the PGA Tour's tournament staff takes it over and kind of keeps it there for the week. Obviously barring any kind of weather or anything like that. I think Geoff did a great job designing this golf course to take away that advantage for me, because there's really not a whole lot I can do to this place. It's kind of right there out in front of you, and the course needs to play firm and fast. And I think championship golf courses should be played on big championships like this should be played on tough golf courses, and really reward good ball striking, and really reward guys who are playing the best. And so, I don't see a whole lot that I can do. The fairways are very generous out there. There's not like there's a lot of rough going to grow up or anything like that. It's more of a second shot golf course. The bunkering around some of the teeing areas is where you're going to find trouble off the tee. And then, the green complexes are very difficult. There's lots of kind of humps and bumps and runoffs and pitching areas and putting areas around these greens. So it's really kind of going to challenge the guys coming into those greens to kind of put the ball in the right spots and give themselves some opportunities. So there's really not a whole lot from course setup that you can really do. Maybe move some tees around here or there. The one thing that Geoff and their company did a great job of is there's several tiering here. There's tons of tees on every hole that you can use and kind of change how certain holes play. And that might be something we look into as the team starts to round out. But at the end of the day, like, I want these golf courses to kind of push these guys, hit great golf shots, and really make it set up to where it's a tough venue for everybody. And that brings out the best quality golf and really make sure that the best team wins. And so I'm not going to be too far down the rabbit hole with the analytics. And, obviously we'll always look at that and see if we have an advantage somewhere or not. We'll try to kind of lean in that. But at the end of the day, you can kind of go down this hole too much and kind of shoot yourself in the foot before you ever really get going. So I think all of our guys really want to go out there and play on a tough golf course and find out who's playing best that week.
I'm incredibly excited to see it. I know a lot of people in the golf world are. My last question, you guys are in the Chicago office, like I mentioned. What are our thoughts on the Chicago Barstool Sports office?
It looks like fun. Looks like a fun place to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to come to an office every day, I'm very lucky that my office is a golf course every day. But if I had to come to an office, it'd be something like this. This would be a great place to come every morning.
Yeah, there's no shortage of caffeine or alcohol in here. I'll tell you that. So
Yeah, plenty of that.
You've got them pretty wired, ready to go. You know, this reminds me of a very high budget frat house back in the day. So it's pretty cool to see this thing grow into what it's grown into, and we're honored to be here today. Thanks for having us, man. This is a cool spot, and love to come hang out when we're not on the clock and have a little fun.
No, I agree, and I just love it. I laugh at that you guys bring in the prestigious President's Cup in there, and then you got the image of the Barstool office, and God knows what could be going on. Some days it's all class in there. Some days you walk in and it's complete chaos. So you never know. But I know the next 12 months, 11 and a half months of you guys' lives are going to be unlike they've ever been before. Kind of grabbing the helm. And like you guys said, I think Geoff said, being the stewards of the President's Cup for the next year. So good luck to both of you. I'm sure we'll do this again as we get closer to Medinah and the 2026 President's Cup, but very much appreciate the time and good luck over the next year.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Go USA, right? You can say it now.
USA,
There
baby.
we go. There we go.
USA. USA. See you guys. Thank you.
See you, man.
Thanks, man.